The atmospheric pressure inside the iron pit of Xylar didn't just feel suffocating. It hit the lungs like a mouthful of hot gravel. The stadium was built inside a hollowed-out asteroid, where 3,000 alien elite sat behind kinetic energy barriers, roaring for blood. I am General Vorn, and for 15 solar cycles, I have managed the Imperial Arena. I have watched giant kite-and-armor behemoths tear through entire squads. I knew the math of violence better than anyone in the galaxy. Our current reigning champion was Gorak, a 9-foot-tall, 1,200-pound dreadstalker from a high-gravity death world. His body was covered in natural obsidian plating that could deflect point-blank plasma fire, and his 6 primary limbs ended in razor-sharp talons. He had 99 victories in the pit, 0 defeats. Across from him stood the Terran Alliance's newest entry, recruit Maya Vance. She was 5'6", weighed less than 140 pounds, and wasn't wearing an environmental power suit or kinetic shield. She stood in the sand wearing nothing but a faded black utility uniform with the sleeves rolled up. Her skin was unarmored, her face was smudge-stained with engine grease, and her hands were completely bare. The alien crowd let out a synchronized, clicking laugh. To them, sending this tiny, fragile biped into the pit was a joke. The Central Arena computer gave Maya a 0.1% chance of surviving past 5 seconds. Gorak took 3 heavy steps forward, the sand beneath his massive boots shaking the observation deck. He lowered his massive, bone-armored head, opened 4 sets of jagged jaws, and let out a shattering, subsonic roar that cracked the reinforced glass on the lower balconies. The acoustic frequency was designed by nature to paralyze a prey animal's central nervous system. "You're weak," Gorak roared through his mechanical translator, his voice rattling the metal bulkheads of the stadium. "A soft, fragile, skin-bound worm. You do not belong on the sands of Xylar." The alien audience screamed in approval, waiting for the tiny human to drop to her knees, freeze in terror, or beg for mercy. Maya didn't flinch. She didn't drop into a defensive crouch, and she didn't reach for a weapon. Instead, she took a slow, deep breath, wiped a streak of dirt off her cheek with the back of her sleeve, and took 2 calm steps forward. She stopped right beneath the giant shadow of the 9-foot killer, looked up directly into his 4 glowing yellow eyes, and leaned in close. Maya smiled. "Try me," she whispered. She didn't yell. She didn't use an amplifier. But in the sudden silence of the arena, that quiet, ice-cold whisper carried across the open comms like a death sentence. Before Gorak's combat computer could even register her movement, Maya lunged forward. She didn't use standard military martial arts. She used pure, explosive leverage and raw human momentum. She ducked beneath his sweeping left claw, stepped deep into his guard, and drove her elbow directly into the unarmored nerve junction beneath his primary mandible. Crack! It wasn't a clean energy burn. It was a brutal, bone-jarring impact. Gorak's massive, 1,200-pound frame stiffened instantly as the shockwave hit his central nervous system. Maya didn't stop. She grabbed his secondary wrist, twisted her hip, and used his own massive momentum against him, slamming the 9-foot apex predator flat onto his back in the sand with a heavy, ungraceful thud. The stadium went completely silent. 3,000 alien spectators froze in sheer, paralyzed disbelief. The reigning champion of the Empire was lying in the dirt, gasping for air, his primary ocular lenses spinning wildly as his brain tried to recover from the physical overload. Maya didn't draw a blade to finish him. She just stood over him, her soft, unarmored hands resting on her hips, looking down at the giant beast like an annoyed older sister. "Get up," Maya said softly, her voice cool and steady. "We haven't even started yet." Gorak didn't get up. He slowly raised one massive, clawed hand in a universal signal of submission, his 4 eyes wide with pure, unadulterated shock. In the control box, my datapad slipped from my claws and shattered on the floorboards. The Imperial spreadsheets had failed us again. We had calculated her mass, her muscle density, and her lack of armor, but our computers completely missed the baseline truth of humanity. Humans didn't survive on their world by being the biggest or the strongest. They survived because when an apex predator looks them in the eye and calls them weak, they don't run. They take it as a personal challenge. So, next time your tactical computers tell you a human recruit is fragile and helpless, don't trust the numbers. Don't wait for the roar. Just run.